YouTube, even though I like the work as much. But I'll just anyway. Okay, so where's the functions? Oh, okay. If you define them, object a lot of sense. Oh yeah, okay. And so INFPs are definitely like INFPs, and one INFP in particular, and it was like the way they feel and interact with other people's emotions. Sorry, just a second. This is really annoying. I'm right in the middle of the screen. Okay, so yeah, I really believe the cognitive functions are a thing, even while holding the Kersey temperament theory. And I think there's a lot of politics, obviously, but that's not to disparage either. Can't really love Dave, and I'll call him Dave for short. And I think there's a lot of community and who to contribute. So anyway, I can kind of, so now I'm 36, and and so when I reflect, I can, in a sense, I can detect first and foremost, I just in the art of living a moment and enjoying life, being immersed in the sensory, just fullness and easiness of life. The thing that I most prize and cherish, and the thing I hate the most, like adult INFPs, they're like, they have this like moral framework. They're very responsible people, oftentimes, but I remember even back when I thought I was one. Aylwin, she said, the thing I fear most is a cage. That's the thing I fear the most is just being held down. And so there was a debacle recently in my life where I basically ran away for a little bit, and I ran days, and I had to get away, and I came back, and once I felt like I was accepted on my own terms, then I was willing to come back. I won't get too much into it's highly personal, and I got to. So I've been kind of like too, and but that's another aspect of me too. Is like I kind of just pour out without discrimination a lot of times. Um, so anyway, yeah, that's the forefront of my mind. That is how I enjoy life the most, right? And then the second way down, it's like, and this is something C.S. Joseph talks about, is the your secondary function is for an ESTP, or the secondary function, basically what is the mind, your life experience, everything. It's what keeps you in check and keeps you from excess. And so for me, that's rational thinking. So for instance, you know, on one end of the scale, if I just gave in and became a hedonist, I'd be like, type of person who want to sleep around a lot. Tier, it's like my logical mind says, no, 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 that's not really going to work. That's not the way life works. You can't just, I've gotten hurt in the past. And like, for instance, I want to say too, we all have every cognitive function. We all also are real human beings, no matter our perspectives and our excesses and quirks and everything. And there is such a thing as getting objectively hurt without realizing or being willing to focus on that. And ESTPs, even though we're the type most unwilling to psychotherapy, which I realize I need to have some kind of counseling or whatever, but we're the type probably most unwilling to go through that, but we actually still need it. It's said by some people that like pretty much everyone should have some kind of therapy, at least somewhat, because we all get bumps and bruises in life. And but anyway, but we don't process that. Like, that's not at the forefront of our mind, and I don't tend to process my emotions very much. It's kind of more, it's lower on the cognitive stack. But I realize rationally that life is the best way to go. It's staying with one person your whole life, having sex with only one person your whole life. That is, rationally speaking, that's the best way to approach life. But so that it's like the parent function, sense of excess, or the function is the one who's just like trying to go full unrelentingly unchecked and conquer life. Hold on, you gotta hold back a little bit. And then like lower down is what C.S. Joseph calls the child function, and C.S. Joseph has made a lot of sense of a lot of this. So shout out to him. Anyway, the feeling is like extroverted feeling. So it's like the child function is like it's wants everybody to have a good time, wants everybody to, and extroverted sensing wants everybody to have a good time too. But the extroverted feeling wants people to feel good about them, um, about themselves, and everything. But it's sort of in the background. So if it gets hurt, then um, it's kind of like an ESTP doesn't really know what to do, or an ENTP doesn't really know what to do about that. Screw you, you know. It's like that feeling comes out. It's like, you know, it just kind of reacts like a child would, you know, like just, well, f you, you know. If you're trying to like hate on me, I'm gonna hate on you, you know, that kind of thing. And so that's why ESTPs often react like that. And then lower down on that, um, on the stack is one of the things that makes me a bit, at least to myself, is that I've had a very high and strong intuition. But the thing is, and this is one thing people don't really understand, is that skill and strength is different from preference. So you could have a strong, okay, like I'll take an obvious example. Someone who's more of an intuitive type, but they're not really focused on their perceptual ability, like they might have the eyes of a hawk, but they're not really thinking about their prefer to think about uh, their gifted eyesight and seeing like basically engaging in activities like being a sniper or something like that, you know, because they have whatever might help with enhanced eyesight. They might prefer to like meditate or something like that. And on the other hand, you might have someone who they're an SE Dom, which means they prefer stimulate sensory activity, but they at some point become a quadriplegic and they can't even move their body, you know. So skill and ability and giftedness and everything are a little bit different than preference. Hope at least pretty well, because if not, that would suck. Like, could a quadriplegic even get it up? I mean, I don't know the answer to that question, but you know, it kind of sucks if you get stuck in a position where you can't even use your preference, um, you know, as the way you would like to. And so, for instance, you know, not that they think totally illogically, but they don't get very far with their thinking. Like, it doesn't get them very far. Like, they're just kind of, you know, basic, low level types of thoughts. It's kind of interesting because it's like they obviously have a preference for logical thinking, but it doesn't get them very far. But you can have an intuitive person like an INFJ, maybe don't have very strong spiritual sense, perhaps, but they do have that preference. Now, I, on the other hand, I have strong intuition, but I don't trust it very well. That's the interesting thing. I've noticed that throughout my life. Like, I'll have an intuition about, you know, I shouldn't do this or I should do that. And it comes to bear that that intuition was correct, but I didn't trust it very well. Hard time with that. So I've also been a very spiritual person, very easily spiritually influenced. And like I said, I was raised Pentecostal, and I've had a lot of spiritual experiences. And but I see them through a sort of sensory lens, so I'll see the aesthetic aspect of it and about it. But anyway, I just thought make that an interesting note. Maybe add something to the conversation. I gotta get to a chiropractic appointment, but yeah, tell me what you guys think. Talk to you later.